Hello there guys, it's your boy Blue here, back in another video, and today I'm going to do what if Deku was Ghost Rider, part 13. Hope you guys will enjoy it. You guys have been asking for it, so here it is. Don't worry, the other what ifs, mainly betrayed, will return. But if you want me to continue other what ifs and this one, drop a like, and for this video let's try reaching 600 likes. And while you're at it, subscribe if you're new, and let's begin. So last part we covered the Island incident with Deku taking Kendo with him. Basically it was a date. But because of Wolverine and his goons, they stopped halfway. They were able to take control for a bit, but because of Deku's strength and All Might is there, but mostly Izuku, they were stopped and the device was destroyed. And this covered the recap, so let's continue from here. So after the attack, everyone were taken back to Japan. The new couple were a bit bummed because of it, but since they can't do anything about it, they accepted it. Deku of course dropped Kendo home. Their parents asked them why they are here early. They explain what happened, but they assure them that no one was hurt. They breathe a sad relief and they thank Deku for keeping her safe. After that he went back home, reassured his mom that he's safe. Then everything went back to normal. But unbeknownst to our hero, his action got the attention of certain someone wearing a suit. All for one. Because the reports that he's getting from the traitor reveal that 1. Deku survived the Nemo's attack, meaning he's quite tough. 2nd, his quirk is just out of this world. He can generate flames, and those flames not only can burn his opponent, but also heal him. Usually flames will overheat your body, but him, he does the opposite. And on top of that we cannot forget that he defeated Endeavor, the number 2 hero. And from the fight he can gather that Izuku doesn't know the full extent of his power yet. So he theorized that if he actually masters his power, he can compete with him and All Might. Add that with All for One's boost in power, and he will be a big obstacle to overcome. Plus his sources is telling him that his regeneration was able to survive Overhaul's touch. And he knows that Overhaul's quirk resembles Shigaraki to a degree. And at this point of time, Overhaul's quirk is stronger than Shigaraki's. And so this turned him from an obstacle to a threat. He needs to start moving along his plan faster. Back to our biker protagonist. After resting for a day he went back to class, and of course the news spread about him helping All Might. And because of it people start calling him the next number 1 hero, much to the anger and displeasure of Bakugo. And of course class 1B did hear about the attack, and they check up on Kendo, and she assured them that she's okay. Izuku did most of the work, like always. Of course they ask her for details. She tried keeping the information to a minimum, but her blush gave it away that something else happened. And after a bit of pushing, she gave in and she told them what happened. And this surprised them a bit. The biker kid is a bit of a romantic guy. Guess you cannot judge a book by its cover. And the same thing is happening for Izuku. The class did bombard him with questions, especially the one that weren't there. Or to be precise, the one that did not participate in the fight. So they praised Deku for doing most of the work. But Deku shut that down immediately and told them it was a teamwork, everyone did their part. The group smile and they are thankful. Even though he's strong, even stronger than some pros, he's still humble. Now they start to understand why All Might got a liking to him. Then Aizawa barged in. Okay brats, quiet. Then he realized that everyone are quiet and on their seats. Progress, good. Anyway, since the recent event and you look at Deku and the group, UA's board, meaning Nizu and the teachers, realized that we cannot keep you from danger, even when you're out of UA. We are still working on how to prevent that. We are going to increase your training a bit more. And everyone gulped after hearing this. More training from Aizawa? So they're a bit terrified. Izuku sensed this, he smiled, and loudly explained that's good. We don't know what we face off against next in the future, so it will be better if we got stronger, as soon as possible. Because I don't want to be gloomy, but I want to stay alive, and in one piece. And because of his speech, their morale changed a bit, they become serious. They understand what he means and can see the big picture now. Aizawa smiled and he thanked him in his mind. He's a really good influence on the class. That said, we are going to the training camp, all of you. I don't think you can slack off, Garrett, especially the ones that failed the finals. And once again the class are afraid. Deku just sigh. I tried my best. Now it's on you, Aizawa. And the previous users commented that he's a bit cruel. Deku agreed with them, but there is something behind this cruelty. Because of my power I can feel it. He's a bit anxious and sad. My theory, someone close to him died. That will explain why he was so harsh in the previous years, and on us. He knew personally that the world is not fair. And if we are a bit childish or cocky, we will die. And he doesn't want our blood on his hands. The other users agreed with him. But that said, you have a couple of days off before the summer camp. Use them wisely. Class dismissed. The second Aizawa exit the door, they start talking about what to do for the next couple of days, and they suggest to go to the mall. Everyone agreed, except for Todoroki, Bakugo, and Izuku. Bakugo because, well, he's Bakugo, there is no reason for it, at least at this point of the story. Todoroki is going to see his mom, and for Deku, he's planning to go on a date. The class, especially Mina, teased him a bit, and they asked him with who. And let me guess, it's a certain orange-haired girl from class 1B. Deku blushed, then he smirked. Damn right. Mina smirked. It's about time you two start dating. Yeah, you're not the first one that said that, Mina. Deku replied while sighing. Minata and Kaminari yell at him because of how lucky he is. Well, if you stop being a pervert, maybe, just maybe, you will find someone. And Deku have a smug smirk on his face. And this made the two irate and the class burst out laughing. After this, Deku met up with Kendo and she revealed that they are also going to the summer camp and they also have a couple of days off. So they discussed on how to spend the next couple of days. And they went without a hitch. Last one they went to the mall to get what they want, and Izuku have his date with Kendo. But at the end, she can see that he's a bit uneasy, and she asks him about it. Deku sigh. I think we should tell them. Who? Our parents. You mean about us? Sure, I'm down. Oh yeah, that and you know. And Deku show his skeleton hand. Kendo understand. Oh, that. Are you sure? He nod. The recent events show me that whatever I do, villains will come after us, or we will get dragged into a fight, and sooner or later, my secret will be revealed. So I rather make them prepare by telling them. My mom is my mom, so it's an obvious decision. And for your parents, since you are in my life, and I know you're a hothead, so you will not back down from a fight. Kendo smirked because of this. We should also tell them. Kendo agreed with him. So what's the plan? We can tell them to meet us in one of the houses, then we will tell them. Kendo understand. Deku smiled. They informed their parents. They found it a bit weird, but they went with it. They talk and start talking about each other and their kids, and of course embarrassing them. Then Deku signaled to Kendo. She understand, and they call for everyone. So, I'll be blunt. I have something to tell you, everyone. And everyone tense up. They can feel the seriousness in his voice. All of you know about the recent events and the attacks, right? They nod. Not only we are meeting them way more frequently, but also they are stronger. And even though I'm strong, I think they will push me enough to use it. What's it? Inko asked, afraid. Not for herself, but for her son. Deku let out a long sigh. I'm pretty sure by now you know about the rider, right? They nod. Then Deku transform, shocking Kendo's parents, but not his mom. So after a bit they snap from that shock and ask him questions. Who know about his power? Does Kendo know about it? And Deku explained a bit. Of course he didn't go on full details on what is the Ghost Rider, and of course he didn't tell them about One For All, but he did explain about his power to some degree, like he's immune to flames in this form, and pretty much to any physical damage, and the rest of his hacks. Then they ask him, what is he telling them? Like I told you, the villains are getting bolder, and call it intuition, but I can feel that the last attack will not be the last. They are preparing for something, and something pretty big this time. So I'm afraid that will push me to use this form, and if word got out, I don't know how the people will react. And especially the heroes, except the people that know. So I rather tell you and warn you just in case, so at very least you will be prepared. They understand that they thank him for his honesty, but Deku catch on that his mom is not as shocked as she should be, and she revealed that she found out about the Ghost Rider for a few months now. One night after you discover your power, I was a bit worried, because your power just showed up out of nowhere, and we don't know what it can do. So one night I was going to check on you, and I saw you transform. At first I was shocked, then worried, because you're fighting criminals pretty much every night. But I didn't know if I should confront you or not, so sit on it for a few days. And during this time I saw what you can do on TV, all the people that you saved, and your attitude changed quite a lot. You're way more direct, young man. Deku just scratched back his head. But after seeing what you did, and how determined you were, I knew that even if I confront you, you won't stop. So just promise me that you will be safe. I know you're, like you said, technically immortal or invincible, but still. And Deku assured that he'll be as safe as he can. His mom smiled. Now, who want to hear more embarrassing stories about Izuku when he was a kid? Just kill me already. Then Bungie spoke up. Yo kid, you can't die, remember? I hate all of you. And while you're asking, where is Shigaraki? Here's the thing, even though he did see Deku with Kendo, he knew that he cannot land a single hit on him. Shigaraki is arrogant, but he's not an idiot, to a degree. He knows that he cannot go against someone that defeated the number 2 hero, at least without missing a limb or two, so he decided to retreat. Plus 10 is not a big of a deal to Shigaraki in this story. Sure, he's the hero killer, but he was captured a while back. So fast forward a couple of days, and both classes are ready to go to the summer camp. Of course, there is always that taunting from Monama. After he heard that some of Class 1A failed the exam, Deku sighed. Monama, what do you want? Star of Class 1A. Deku glared at him and his eyes turned orange. Zip it. A chill went down everyone's spine, especially Monama. Then he quickly retreated to the bus and of course trying to cover up that he's afraid. Kendo apologized for his behavior. Don't worry about it. You could say that both of us have a problem with blondes. Then he looked at Bakugo. She agreed with him. They shared one last kiss before they went a separate way, and that was not unnoticed by the classes. So Setsuna and Mina will use this to make their life a living hell, aka tease them. So they went on the bus and they start driving. And in the way Deku starts talking with the users, they can feel his uneasiness. Is something bothering you, Izuku? I don't know. Call it intuition, but there is a bad feeling in the air. Something will happen. Something bad. I just don't know where and when. But I feel it. It's close. I see. So that's why you told your mom and her parents about your secret. Deku confirmed it. Well, whatever happened and whatever you choose to do, remember that we always have your back. Same for All Might and your girlfriend. Deku smiled and thanked them. So fast forward a bit, they arrive at the cliff. They met up with Pixie Bob and Mandalay, and when she pointed where's the camp, everyone took a step back except for Deku. He smirked, and this got the attention of the heroes. See you at the camp, Deku said excited. Then he ran to the cliff and jumps. Then he starts using One for All and Black Whip to swing around the forest, and destroying any monster in the process. Class 1 is seeing this, some of them get the courage to follow him, or the anger in the case of Bakugo, but for the rest, Pixie Bob was forced to use her quirk on them. Fast forward a bit, and Deku arrived, shocking the pro heroes a bit, except Aizawa, but then they remembered that he defeated number 2 hero, so this kid is unique. Then Deku spot Koda, but then one look in his eyes, and he saw that this kid went through too much in a short period of time. He tried talking to him, but it almost earned him a serious punch in the family jewels. Luckily he was fast enough to avoid the fatal attack, so he hit heroes. Noted. But I was still going to help you, kid. Fast forward a few hours, Class 1 arrived, and to the surprise of no one, Deku is there, far ahead of them. He was able to defeat some of the monsters along, but he decided to let some to the others, so they can grow and learn. So because Class 1 are tired, they were given the day off, but tomorrow the training will start. So of course the bad scene happened with Minata and Koda. Deku saved him, then he learned his past, and this only gave him more drive to help him. But he still had this uneasiness that kept him up at night. Aizawa spotted him and asked him what's wrong. Ever since we left UA, you are a bit tense, so what's wrong, probably child? So Deku gave him the same explanation that he gave the other users, and Aizawa gave him the same response. And that was able to give Deku some peace of mind, so he was able to sleep. The next day everyone woke up early to train, yada yada yada, you know the drill. They throw the ball, then they start training in his own separate way. And to the surprise and joy of Izuku, Kendo was there. Although the class arrived later than them, that's it. And because of that they train a bit, just like they used to. And Aizawa remarked that she's quite good than some Class 1 students. And he theorized it's because of Izuku. Not only he's growing stronger, but he's also pushing her to grow stronger as well. And for his training, Deku mainly focused on his body, because he can use 100% of One for All in his Ghost Rider form, but in his base form, he's still a bit behind. And he wanted to keep that secret as long as possible, so he kept training for the next couple of days. He started getting used to Black Whip and Float, and for Digger Sense he already have a similar sense to it, so without him knowing, the both sense merge into one. That's why he having this bad omen all of a sudden. Of course, we cannot forget the constant teasing from Setsuna and Mina, but they were saddened because their reaction was not the one they want to. Sure, at first they were a bit embarrassed, but after a while, they get used to it. Heck, they can even see that Izuku is a bit proud of it. So they drop it, even Aizawa told them to do it, and focus on their training. or else. The two gulped and went back to training. Then later that day, Deku saw Koda walking away. He let him go wherever he want, but after a bit he was able to track him. Remember, the Ghost Rider can track whoever he want, and Deku have that power. Koda was shocked and angry to see him here, but he told him to go away. Listen kid, the dinner is getting cold, so you better eat it. Just shut up and leave me alone. I don't want to be near wannabe heroes. Because you're afraid of getting close to them then losing them? Deku replied, shocking Koda. And before you ask, yes, I know about your parents. And it was unfortunate losing them. They were good people, and good heroes. Koda told him to shut it. You're angry, I understand. And you have the right to be. And he started walking toward him. Koda told him to shut and walk away. Izuku kept walking toward him. Stop and just leave me alone, he shouted. Then he fired a big of a water attack that he had mastered, but that did not even phase Deku. He just walked through it. Good, that's good. Keep going. Let it all out, kid. Koda screamed once again and fired more water at him, and after a couple of seconds he fell to his knees exhausted. He cried. Deku walked toward him. He put his hand on his shoulder and he assured him that everything will be okay. Koda starts shouting at him and telling him he doesn't know how he feels. Oh, I do, kid. I do. I also lost someone close to me not even a year ago. Koda looked at him, still tears in his eyes. So trust me, I know how you feel, kid. I never met my father, so he was the only fatherly figure that I had. But he just have to go, and I cannot stop that. Koda stood quiet for a bit, then he asked him how does he do it. Does he not miss him? Of course I do, kid. Every single day. You see, both of us have the same power in a way, so each time I use my power, it makes me remember him. So let me tell you something. Yes, your parents died heroes, but you're still young to truly understand the meaning of this. I'm still young to truly understand the full extent of it. So I won't tell you to be angry. I won't tell you to be sad. You have the right to be. I was just like you at some point. But don't do that. Don't push people away from you. People close to you that try to help you, like Mandalay and the Wild White Pussycat. And this somewhat reached Koda even though he was saddened. Izuku went through the same thing. So they sit there for a bit, talking. Deku gave Koda his food. Then suddenly a bad feeling went through Deku's body. He got up and told Koda, let's go to the camp. Why, is something wrong? He asked after he saw the seriousness in his voice. Maybe, but I'm not sure. Let's go. Koda nodded. Deku picked him up and they start running toward the camp. They reached there, they met up with Mandalay. She thanked Deku for bringing him back, and she immediately noticed the difference in Koda's attitude. Then Deku looked to the forest. Where is everyone else? Oh, your classmates? They're in the forest. Call them back. Now. Why? There is villains in the forest, and malicious ones. But how? Just call them, Mandalay, Deku ordered her. She flinched and nodded. Then she used her quirk to call back everyone. But it was too late. She started seeing blue fire in the forest and some type of gas in the distance. Damn it, you're right. How did they get here? Then the rest of the Wild White Pussycat joined them. They asked what's going on. Villains attacking us. I don't know how much, but they are quite strong for the looks of it. They understand. Then Pixie Bob started floating and heading toward the trees. But Izuku quickly catch her using Black Whip. And without wasting a beat, he fired a hellburn toward the trees, forcing Magna and Spinner to dodge. So Shigaraki was right, you're indeed strong. Deku on the other hand, his eyes turned orange and he got serious. He knew that these two are not normal villains. Then Tiger confirmed it. Good. So let's get this over with quickly. Deku power up one for all and he charged at the villains. He throws a punch but suddenly someone blocked it, wearing a cloak. Oh no. Your fight is with me, brat. And this got Deku's attention. He was using 20% of one for all and he easily blocked it. He's not someone weak like the others. Then the Cloakman removed his cloak and it's Muscular. Koda was terrified when he saw him, and when Izuku looked at him, he saw what he did. He got enraged. He can feel the blood on his hands and the innocent that he killed. It's gotten harder for him to control his emotions, and by extent, the Ghost Rider's powers. The air started getting hotter. Flames started surrounding Deku. You want to fight, Muscular? You will have it. Deku powered up to 40% and he charged at him. They clash once again and this time they're almost equal. But Muscular quickly realized that each time they clash, Deku burned through his muscles pretty rapidly. Your flames are strong, kid. Just touch them is burning me alive. But it's not enough to defeat me. Then he powered to his full muscular form, and he was far faster and stronger than before. Deku blocked the attack but he was sent flying. He quickly collected himself using Black Whip. His hand was broken but he instantly healed it. Deku cursed under his breath. He cannot use more of one for all without breaking his body, and he cannot use his Ghost Rider form. On top of that, he cannot use his flames because his friends are still in the forest. He's really in a tough spot. The only thing that he can do right now is stall for time. And the rest are having it the same as the anime. But this time the Lego villains are a bit prepared for Deku. Not only they have a couple of more Nomus, but they also give them a quirk that let them resist fire. And of course regeneration. So Izuku resumes his fight with Muscular. He's mostly dodging because he's faster than him and smaller than him. And his flames are slowly but surely getting through his muscles. Then after Muscular had enough and thrown one of his attacks at Deku, he found an opening, he threw him up in the air using Black Whip, and without wasting a beat he prepared to fire a Hell Nova. But then Digitans kicked in and he avoided an attack from the two Nomus. More Nomus? Deku cursed under his breath. And because of that, Muscular was able to land back on his feet, and even though he doesn't like it, the Nomus were ordered to help him. The heroes are preoccupied with the villains, so Izuku is on his own. So this went on for a couple of minutes, then suddenly the group of Class 1A arrive with Bakugo and Tokuyami. They are going to help the heroes, but they are interrupted by the rest of the illegal villains. And they were able to push them back because of Moonfish's quirk. Most of Class 1A cannot do anything about it. They can only dodge. Todoroki can block his attacks, but Toya always melts his ice. But then they heard Tetsutetsu calling for help. Even look at him and they saw him carrying Kendo. She's bleeding. The kid that can make toxic gas shot at her, and this time Tetsutetsu was a bit too slow to catch her, or to protect her, so she got hit. And upon seeing this, Deku froze in his place. He can see the blood dripping from her wound. Muscular seeing this, he landed a powerful blow, sending Deku flying, crashing into some trees. But it didn't stop there. He led close to Moonfish, and when Moonfish saw him, he pierced right through his heart using his teeth. Avon gasped and froze in their place. Unlike the anime, this group was told to kill Deku, and of course capture Bakugo and Tokuyami, but mainly killing Deku. So seeing this, Muscular started laughing. Toga commented that she wanted a bit of his blood before he died, and Moonfish wanted to eat him. Then Toya looked at the pro heroes. Well, heroes, so it looks like you lost your star student. Then he saw Deku flinching. Oh, he's still alive, but I wonder for how long. Aizawa ordered Avon to try to get Deku back, but they stopped when they start hearing laughter. He's Deku, he's laughing, but his voice is changing. At first it's still getting echoey, then more darker, more sinister, almost like a monster. Then he grabbed the metal rods and melted them away instantly. Deku landed on his feet, then he stand up. His face is still looking to the ground. He laughed a couple of times, then he stopped. Killing me, you say? Sorry, but the only ones that will die tonight are you. Then everyone can feel the heat wave coming from Deku. The fact that all these villains are in one place and Kendo got hurt pushed Deku over the edge. His skin started burning away. At first everyone, especially Toya, think that his quirk resembles his. But then he saw that his skin is fully gone, revealing a skeleton. But there is no blood, no scream, it's just Deku and he's smirking. Then he burst with flames, hurting everyone close to him. Then when they look at him once again, they saw the rider in front of them. Everyone are in disbelief that he's the rider. Even the students. Then they start seeing the similarities between them. The clothes, the fire, heck even the name, Ghost Rider and Rider. They start thinking that they are idiots. But back to Deku. He's just standing there, looking at the villains, and this time, unlike his previous self, or previous transformations, he has 6 long bones out of his back, almost like wings made of bones, and they are surrounded with fire, almost making him look like an angel of death, or a Grim Reaper when he used his scythe. So seeing this, everyone stood in their place. Except for the Nomus, they charged at Deku, and that was their last mistake. Deku captured them by Black Whip, but the second it touched them, they turned to dust. The League of Villains are completely in shock. These two Nomus have fire resistant quirk, and he killed them instantly. At that very moment they know that they have to run, but they know they cannot leave empty-handed. So they rush at Tokoyami and Bakugo trying to capture them. Mr. Compress was able to capture Bakugo, but before he can touch Tokoyami, a wall of flames stopped him and he would also burn his hand. He held it in pain, he looked back and he saw the rider looking daggers at him, and Mr. Compress knew that he have to run. Toga, Dobby, Spinner, and Meg now follow him, leaving only Moonfish and Muscular. And Moonfish was the first one to attack. His teeth were able to go through Deku, but they did nothing. Izuku grabbed them and pulled him toward him. Then he grabbed him by the throat. And for the first time in his life, Moonfish is feeling fear. You like eating people, so try eating this. Deku raised his flames and Moonfinch turned to dust, shocking not only the heroes but also Muscular, that the Kendo is able to kill. Then Deku looked at him and Muscular took a step back. He's shaking in fear. What's wrong, Muscular? What's wrong? Are you afraid? Good, you should be. Then Deku charged at him and delivered one punch. And that's all it takes to make him go on his knees and he starts coughing blood. But then Deku grabbed him by his neck and lift him up. Your soul is tainted by the blood of the innocent. Feel their pain. Then Deku used his pen and stare on him. Muscular screamed in pain. Then he stopped and Deku dropped him to the ground. Then Deku turned his attention toward Tetsu and Kendo. He slowly made his way toward her. Tetsu flinched at first, thinking that he will hurt her. But then he was interrupted by Kendo looking at Deku and smiling. Hey, I guess I bit more than what I can chew, huh? Izuku did not say anything. He kneeled down, put his hand on her, and for the first time, Izuku felt something new while he's transformed. He usually can feel people's bad deed, but this time, at this moment, he can feel Kendo's crying for help. He wants to help her. He wants to save her. He doesn't want to punish. He wants to save. And at that very moment his flame changed to blue, but only for a second, and Deku slowly started going back to his base form. And for Kendo, after the flame touched her, she stand up and feel nothing. She looked at her wounds and it's gone, shocking everyone. Then she looked back at Izuku. Is this? She asked him, but she stopped when she saw his eyes. They are not green or orange, they are pure white, with a tiny bit of blue in them. Without uttering a word, Deku hugged her. Kendo hugged him back. She thanked him, but Deku did not respond. She shook him a bit, then she realized that he passed out. And with this, I'm going to stop it right here. So what do you think of it, guys? So what will happen now with Deku finally reaching the angel's powers? Will he be able to use them properly? What will happen now with everyone knowing, or everyone present knowing about Deku's secret? Especially the League of Villains. What will happen next? Leave your thoughts in comments down below, and if you want another part sooner, let's say 600 likes and I will make it. And if you are new, subscribe and enable all notification if you want to be updated on my next video. And with this said, thank you guys for watching, and like always guys, peace.